Your retirement roadmap consists of two phases, accumulation and sustaining. Here's how to visualize it. Then within the sustaining phase, you will want to decide whether you want to spend all your money during your lifetime and leave nothing for anyone, or you still want to have as much money as possible, just like on your first day of your retirement. Or you might want somewhere in between. This is the first chapter, right? And you have like 20 years or less to be serious about your active income surplus and growing that surplus while your financial commitment and inflation are fighting you. And then in the second chapter of your life, when it begins, your focus shifts to reinvesting your portfolio or passive income, and still with the everlasting inflation and bills to pay, but hopefully less at this stage. Now, over the years, I've noticed two groups of clients. First group who cannot wait to retire, so their most urgent and important concern is about how much money or how much more actually do I need before I stop active work, or how much longer must I endure working in this high-paying job but not a very enjoyable job. While the second group are more interested in knowing if I were to call it quit today, how long can all my assets last me? Remember, higher return of investment makes you achieve your retirement goals faster, sooner, and definitely more without much extra effort on your part. Keeping in mind that the total investment return that you get over an extended period is correlated with the risk that you can afford to undertake in the accumulation phase. And the risk you can afford to undertake is positively correlated with how much time you have during your accumulation phase, right? 10 years versus 20 years. Big difference there. Also, remember that the more money you have at the onset of retirement, the lower is the return of investment that you need to get the passive portfolio income that you need. Because the more money you have, the less risk you want to take with your investment, especially when you choose the preservation method in the post-retirement sustaining stage. Trust me, you will prefer a more stable, safer investment with consistent, high certainty cash flow despite the lower returns over something like high growth, high return investment, which usually comes together with a much more volatility and little to no cash flow. This will be what we can usually show clients before and after scenario for the accumulation phase. And then this will generally be the outcome for the sustaining phase, structuring a portfolio in a way that is likely to last longer than what they have expected earlier. In other words, a series of one-on-one advisory session that will turn what you think is not possible into possible and what is possible into even better scenario like this. Actionable step-by-step guidance in a clear, concise manner on what to do now, what to do later, the best way to do them, what's important versus what you can ignore, and the explanations and reasonings for each of them. Of course, the reality is that these common milestones or obstacles, depending on how you view them, needs to be handled and optimized so that you can achieve your goals at the end of your accumulation stage on time and on target. This is the absolute worst case scenario that you want to avoid. Now, this is what most people are satisfied with, kind of, but I would argue that probably that is not good enough because you spend too long earning and growing your money here in this accumulation stage that you are left with too little time and energy after that to enjoy life, spending money, reaping the fruits of your labor in the sustaining stage. Practically, retirement planning opens up this new horizon for you, an even better case scenario. Don't leave anything too long for later. Later, you become too old. Later, you lose interest. Later, people grow up. Later, people grow old. And later, life goes by. Later, you regret not doing something when you had the chance. Regret is a bitter pill to swallow. For in the end, it's not the things that we did that we regret, but the things that we left undone, things that we overlooked, things that we underappreciate.